Have you been taking your medications wrongly? Prescriptions, over the counter medications? There are so many myths surrounding prescriptions, medications, and healthcare in general. My name is Amy Gill. I am your pharmacist that cares. Yes, I am a real pharmacist. Yes, I do work in a retail setting. What do I want to do today? I want to go through the top 10 myths and maybe add a few extras and show you the myth and the reality when it comes to so many things surrounding the pharmacy and surrounding healthcare. Number one, people think generics are less effective because they're not as expensive. They're not going to work as good. And that is not true. The main difference with the generic, it's going to save you some money. And really, the only thing that you're going to see that is different are the inactive ingredients. I always let people know the size of the pill, the color, the shape, all those things can vary because all those things are those inactive things that do not affect the main ingredients. They have to be that, or they could not call it, they could not sell it as that, whether you're getting it as a prescription generic or whether you're getting it as an over-the-counter generic. Now, every once in a while, I will encounter somebody that has an allergy to a certain color or dye. That is a different story, but that is still an inactive ingredient. So do not waste your money on brand names. If there is a generic alternative, please get it. Your insurance company will usually want that one as well. Again, every once in a while, there's exceptions, but please save yourself money and do that. Number two, natural and herbal medications that you can get over the counter are perfectly safe to take because they're natural, right? Wrong. They are not safe to take for everyone. There are a lot of interactions that can happen with prescriptions you are on, maybe health conditions that you have, other over-the-counter things you are taking, and they are not regulated. Those things that you buy out there, they are not regulated. So if you are looking for natural and herbal supplements, you need to talk to someone that knows. You need to look for a company that has been around for a long time, that has the integrity, not that is just scooping dirt together, putting it in a capsule and slapping a label on it. Because again, like I said, there are no regulations. So please find someone knowledgeable. When I was in school, I took a class in herbal medication class to learn about these things. This is so important. So be careful when you are searching, be careful who you are talking to, because these can really have some bad side effects and cause a lot of toxicity depending on other conditions or other medications you are taking. The third one, I feel better, so I'm going to stop taking my antibiotic. Absolutely not. Yes, you're going to start feeling better a few days into it. Don't stop taking it. Finish the whole course. I have this conversation all the time. You know how many antibiotics we fill? And yes, it is hard to take something 3 or 4 times a day. I get it. For 10 days, that's a lot, especially when you start feeling better. You forget about it. And that is understandable. But you need to finish the whole course, because if you don't, really the infection might not be gone. And number two, it can cause antibiotic resistance. So let's say it comes back. That same antibiotic probably isn't going to work because you didn't let it finish the course. So please finish those antibiotics. Whatever it says, whether it's 7 days, 10 days, please finish that course of your antibiotic. Number four, all medications start working immediately. False. Again, a conversation I have a lot. People come and pick up their prescriptions. Really, the main one that people are asking about, it's not their cholesterol medicine. People usually know that's going to take a little bit to show something. Even your blood pressure medicine, you will start noticing effects of it pretty quickly. But as to see if it's going to be the right dose for you or the right medication for you, it's going to take a few days, if not a week or 2 weeks, to see how it's going to regulate your blood pressure with your other activities. Another thing I always have a conversation with somebody about are antidepressants, whether it's a new one they're starting or whether they are switching. Because when people are getting them, especially if it's a new one, well, or even if it's when they're switching, obviously it's not working for them. So they're looking to feel better, right? They're in a state and they want to be back to feeling like themselves. And you need to let them know it is going to take a while before this works. I mean, it can take 7 to 10 to 14 days, sometimes even closer to a month, depending on the prescription, to get the full effects. Yes, they will start noticing something in a few days, and that's great because that does help. But if they think that's not enough, it's because it really hasn't gotten to its full potential yet. And I don't want them to get discouraged. So if this is you or you know somebody, please encourage them to keep taking it. Don't give up. Please keep taking those prescriptions and give it time to get to its fullest potential before you know if that's going to be the right one for you or if it's going to require a switch. Number 5, medications don't expire. Medications expire, but it can go either way. Either they can become less potent or they can become more potent. So you have to be very careful with these. If it's a few days, maybe even, up to 30 after, okay, fine. But other than that, please dispose of it. It is not going to do the right job for you, especially if we're talking something insulin. Nitroglycerin, sublingual tablets. I talk to people all the time about these because they're like, oh, I don't use them. Well, no, but when you need them, right? If you're having chest pain, you need to have that little pill in there and be able to, it needs to work to its fullest potential. But if you've been carrying these around for a year in your pocket because you need to have them in your pocket or in your purse, what's going to happen? It keeps shaking. They're sublingual tablets. So what's going to happen? They're soft. They're going to turn to powder. If you open that up, and there's really nothing but just a mess of powder in there when you need it, you're going to be in trouble. So that's one that you really need to replace every 3 to 6 months, depending on how many times you open that bottle and how hard you are on it when you're carrying it around. So please don't think that things are just safe because they've been in there for a long time and there's dust on them under your cabinet. Please get rid of those old medications in a safe way. If you need to know how to do that, contact the pharmacy. A lot of ERs have little drop boxes outside. Some clinics have drop boxes outside that you can put those medications in safely and they can be disposed of because you really don't want to throw those in the trash and let them get into the landfills or soil or water, all those things. So please look for those boxes. If you don't know, reach out to me. I can help you find a list for places in your area. Oh my gosh, this next one. Pharmacists just fill prescriptions, right? Oh my gosh, how many times have I heard, why does it take you so long? I can just slap a label on it. Oh, mercy. You don't just pick something and slap a label. There is a lot that goes into that. A lot that goes into that. We, of course, have to make sure the prescription is accurate. We are looking at interactions for what you're on. We have counseling that goes into it. There are so many different things. No, I'm not just back there counting by 5. There is a lot that goes on that you, maybe not you, I hate to say when I say that, but that people don't realize that we are doing back there. So no, we just don't fill prescriptions. We help with OTC. We help with counseling. We help with vaccinations. We help answer all kinds of questions. And there have been a lot of questions lately. It is so important, again, to go to a good source. Science is important. Don't just search on the internet. The random things that come up on there are very scary. The misinformation is very scary that is out there. And we have to go to reputable sources if we are going to protect our health and wellness and those around us. It is key. So please take your time to talk to the pharmacist. If you have questions, even ask them, I have some questions. If you're not around, where can I go to search? Where can I go to look for these for reputable sites? Please be careful when you are searching the internet because all kinds of crazy misinformation will come up. Number 7, I can crush or split my pills. Not necessarily. By doing this, some pills it's perfectly fine. And that's why there's little stickers on there that a lot of people maybe don't read or don't see. If it says do not crush, do not chew, swallow whole. That happens on pills with the coating on them that is needed for the time release of the pill. If these are extended release pills, they have to be swallowed whole. They cannot be split in half. Some just can't be split in half anyway because it doesn't really truly split the dose in half. And sometimes if you're doing this, if you're crushing them, if you are cutting them in half, you can actually make it more toxic to yourself because these things that are supposed to be time released, now you've just broken open that coating, you've broken open that, and that is going to be harmful to you and could have a lot of side effects. Now, I know there are people out there that cannot swallow pills or they have to have them in some sort of liquid form. That's fine. If that is the case, before you leave the doctor's office, let them know. If you're coming to the pharmacy and looking for something over the counter, that's fine. We can easily find you an alternative to something if you cannot swallow a pill, if you need to be able to chew it, or if you need a liquid. Just like I talked about the kids last week with the over the counter, that flavors matter. I get it. Everybody is different, but please don't take these things into your own hands. Make sure to ask somebody that knows. The next one, taking more of a medication can make it work faster or work better. Absolutely not. These things need to take time to metabolize in your system. If you are taking more and thinking you're going to get better results, you're wasting it. You could be increasing your toxicity, you could be increasing your side effects, but you're definitely not increasing the effectiveness of the medication. So this is a definite no. Follow everything that you are supposed to. Do the other things that you were supposed to be doing as well. If it is something that requires extra things, like let's say, a lot of these weight loss medications that people are doing. No, you don't want to give yourself more, think you're going to lose weight faster. Why don't you follow the other things they're talking to you about and changing your eating habits, exercising? Those are the things you need to be adding in, because more of the medication is just going to cause a lot more side effects for you and not increased results. Number 9, if my doctor prescribes it, it's safe for me to take. Yes, for the most part, it probably is, but does your doctor know about everything else you are taking? Does that doctor know about all the other doctors you are seeing? And again, that's why it's important that they're aware of it and you continue to go to the same pharmacy. That is key. Now, I understand you might be out of town. You're like, well, it's a different pharmacy. Please stick with the same chain. If you do that, your profile is there. Let them know you're out of town. They'll pull your profile at whatever big chain pharmacy you go to, and they can see all those things. They can check for the interactions, and they can have those conversations with you that are so important. So that is key. Your doctor needs to be aware of that, and so do you. So many people carry those little papers in their wallets or their purse that have their list of medications, and that's great. But what if you don't update that list? I've seen that many times. Or people will bring that list to us to update. And I love that. I think that's great. Have that with you. If you're going to carry that list, it needs to be up to date. So make sure that you ask your pharmacist to do that. We get countless calls from doctors' offices and from ERs saying someone's in there. They have no idea what they're on. They have absolutely no idea what they're on. And that can be so unsafe for the patient. So please make sure you know what you're on and have a list with you. Let others know where they can find this, especially if you are on several medications. And the last one that I could go on and on, you guys, seriously. Antibiotics work for viruses like the cold and the flu. No, they do not. Antibiotics only work for bacterial infections. And all this is going to do, if you do not have a bacterial infection, it can cause antibiotic resistance. So many people come in to, whether it's the pharmacy or the doctor's office, and they've searched every symptom they have, and they tell the doctor exactly what they want, and they demand an antibiotic. You don't always need an antibiotic. And by doing this, like I said, you're actually causing yourself more harm. You're wasting money, and you are causing a possibility for antibiotic resistance. Now, there are things that you can take to help with the symptoms of these things, but nothing truly, an antibiotic is not going to fix a virus. You guys, I could go on and on about people thinking they can take alcohol with medications. Again, safe with some, but not with all. And if you're at my window and I'm having a conversation with you and I tell you absolutely no alcohol of any kind, I mean it. Because I've had people not believe me. They came back for a second round of the same prescription. I had the same conversation with them. They said, yeah, I didn't believe you the first time. And after my second sip of beer, I was throwing up violently. I told you so. I'm not going to tell you if it's not important. Nobody has time to listen to nonsense, okay? Life is busy. But if you are going to the pharmacist and they are telling you just a few little sentences about not crushing or chewing your pills or not taking alcohol with it, they mean it. So please listen to them. If they say take it with food, it's not always because it's going to upset your stomach. Sometimes it's to help with the absorption of the prescription. If that's a question you have, then ask them if they don't tell you that. But please listen when they are telling you these things. These things are so important. Another one I hear all the time, well, if it works for my friend or my family member, it should work for me. No, not necessarily. And that does not mean that if you are sick or you are in pain, you should go to somebody else's medicine cabinet or drawer and see what is in there. Absolutely not. Do not think that that is a safe thing to do. So please, please, these things can be so helpful and they can be so harmful. And there are so many myths. You guys, I could do like an hour of just talking about the different myths. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. If you have some that I did not touch on, and like I said, there are a lot, reach out to me. You can put them on here. You can reach out to me in my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group for healthy living with Amy Gill, and I talk about these things. This is where you'll find my videos later on. You can put those in there. You can post questions in there. So please reach out to me, join the group if you're not already a part of it, and we can have a little more in-depth conversation. And like I said, you can always reach out to me anytime that you have these questions about these common myths. My name is